I want to talk about, I mentioned this to you earlier, I didn't really understand the ripple effect that you had. I remember you had the tight blue polo t-shirt on, and you were giving one of your first SME lectures that made it onto the CrossFit, and you had hair back then.
Oh, man.
And
That's so hopeful.
this was, and you opened your gym and then simultaneously you went through PT school and you did all that. But then I'm learning all these, obviously, this thing has exploded to not only sports groups and maybe elite military and the All Blacks and presidential administrations. How does it ripple effect like that? Because at some point you're just, Mark Ripito, fucking Brian McKenzie. These are all great SMEs that had great things to say, and they were all a part of this ecosystem we were all in. You exploded out of that solar system more than anybody else. And was it the 365 videos? Was it the book? Like, what was it that allowed you to catapult to that level? Because there's no one else to that degree that was in that SME world. And there was a lot of opportunity for Rob Wolf and everyone else to have that same effect.
Well, I appreciate that. What I'll say is that the original group, Greg Glassman really gathered up. He could spot talent. He had a really knack for spotting talent. And if you even go further back with Dan John and what's Mark from Salt Lake City? Mark Twight.
Yeah, Jim Jones.
So just if you look at Jim Jones and some of those guys, man, there are so many talented people who got sucked in. Mike Bergner. Mike Rutherford was in there early on, the Martins. There's just really incredible people. And if you look today, what Brian's done is amazing. John Wellborn is still out there slaying, there was a long time ago, I did a little talk at like a CrossFit trainer gathering. And I knew early on that the thing I was interested in was position, recovery, positional restoration, performance, and the unifying field theory around that is how does the body work? And then I had all these expert friends, who are experts in powerlifting and all these things, but the unifying thing is the knee. It's involved in all those things. So I made this joke. I was like, I wish I was the running guy or the Olympic lifting guy, but I'm the stretching guy. And everyone's like, ha ha ha. And I was like, you don't understand. This is like, I wanted to be the stretching guy. And I think
because all these other guys need me.
They're going to need me. I'm the universal thing, right? You remember the 10 physical general characteristics of fitness? Well, it turns out flexibility was one of the ones. It was an old word. But which one of those impacts the rest of them? There's only one, flexibility. Like, you want to lose power, don't have full position. Want to not be agile, so I was
you wanted to pull a string and unravel the whole thing.
That's the string. It's you can buffer it for a long time. And then I'll tell you, some of this 100% is being a maniac. I'm pretty good at communicating. I love to teach. I've been teaching complex motor skills to adults since I was 14. That's when I started teaching whitewater kayaking. My mom is a professor. I sat in the back of every lecture she had because she was a working mom, and my mom was like a circus star professor. She finished her career at Denver University. She was professor of the year a million times.
Is your mom still with us?
Yeah, and she is the most amazing lecturer of all time. And
what
really
makes her so good?
Her ability to synthesize and integrate information. So my whole shtick is pattern recognition and synthesis. Like, I can aggregate disparate ideas very fast and see what the overlap. That's the pattern recognition part. And so suddenly, imagine why CrossFit really made sense to me, because I was like, oh, Olympic lifting, gymnastics, running, like barbell work, like how's it all related? Why does this make this? Where are the relationships? How do, what's the synthesis? Suddenly I was like, oh, I just see how all these pieces fit together. The shoulder does this, it does this, right? And so one of the things that I appreciate is that, yes, I'm probably a decent coach, and then also hit the right. YouTube was barely a thing when we started.
I know you always give it right place, right time. You use that line all the fucking time. But
also, I have this thing called work pain tolerance, and my wife and I have phenomenal, world-class work pain tolerance, which means we can delay gratification and outwork you. And I don't want to outwork you. I'm probably very lazy. But when it's time to go, it means I'm teaching a class, 2 classes back to back in Dallas, and I'm going to fly back late at night. My wife has our both kids, and she's an attorney, and we're running the gym, and we've got, and then I go sleep on my table in my office, and then coach the 5:30 a.m. class on Monday.
That's what I call juggling chainsaws. There's some people that are amazing at juggling chainsaws. Now, the thing with juggling chainsaws,
I mean, I cut all my hair off.
you'll always, one will slip at some point.
yeah.
And it just, some people are skillful like yourself, where just a little nick, tis but the flesh wound. And other times takes your fucking arm off for people who are not skilled.
You die, and you employed all the relationships around you. And I think one of the things that, I remember laying in bed with Juliet, Supple Leopard had come out, big success. We got really lucky. It's a good book. And I was like, what if this is all I do? This is it. I'm done. I don't have anything else to say. And she was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, that's the old self, right? Like the old drive, achieve. And, I didn't go on vacation. I wrote the book. We spent a ton of time seeing. I think we're lucky. I'm lucky enough in that I could see the future a little bit. Like, I'm like, oh, I see the truth of it. We're going there. When I found CrossFit, I was like, oh, that's the thing. Like, it wasn't even a phenomenon yet. It was like there were 5 gyms in the world. It was like there was a video on the early site when I was following it from a guy from ShivWorks. And he had worked in gangs and prisons and was an expert knife fighter.
Actual shivs.
Shivving people. And I remember practicing knife moves because it was on the CrossFit site. And Juliet's like, what is going on with this site? I was like, I don't know, but it's kicking my ass and I'm learning how to knife fight. It's pretty cool. And there's this thing called paleo. She's like, I just Googled that.
That should have been a SME.
Pretty much was. And so here we are. I can outwork everyone. I'm really good at pattern recognition, communicating. And then also, I am really not threatened by other people's success. And so I am really good at being an ally to your success. That's one of the things that inspires me. I was never a person who got super down when we lost. I got down when I sucked. I hate sucking. Hate it. But losing, if you beat me, man, good job. You beat me. You deserve it, right? You're more talented than I am or outworked me, man, that's yours. And that just motivates me. And if you're really fast, I'm like, I could be that fast. I'm just have enough ego all the time where I'm like, well, I can do what you can do. What'd you do? I can do that. And I think I was long enough and an ally enough and friendly enough and helped enough people and did that long enough where I wasn't a dick in the space and didn't cut my own throat and didn't shit talk and I tried to help people. And lo and behold, that is the process. The glacial pace is the breakneck pace. And luck, serendipity, ego, right woman, who knows what I've really started saying, I was like, no one thing changes everything. Everything changes the one thing. So does the book matter? Yes. Having a good gym matter, superstar coaches, the right partner, right? Just keep CrossFit's ascending. All of those things help the one thing, and that one thing was my career.